Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky, and today we're talking all about brows and my updated brow routine, which is a little bit more minimal. We kind of reel it in a lot less steps, but to make this video kind of complete, I'm going to go all in about my brows. I'm going to show you tinting, grooming, but we're going to do that real super fast and speed through it because I went real in depth with that in my previous brow routine, which I'll link up in the eye. But the rest of the routine is very simplified. There's no carving of the brows. There's just some light grooming, filling in what needs to be filled in, easy peasy kind of thing. So yeah, if that interests you, just go ahead and keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know some more videos you would like to see. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into those brows. First thing I do want to include very quickly in this video is that I do tint my brows. Here's my brows. The tint has been out of them for, I probably tinted them about 3 weeks ago. So it's all faded by now. And this is pretty much what my brows look like in their natural state. They're ungroomed at this point. I haven't tied them up or anything in about a month. And maybe a little bit spot grooming in there, here and there, but nothing crazy. But yeah, I don't have thick brows. They're sparse. They're very much like my hair. Low density. Spaced out. So it covers a good portion. Like I got a good width there and scale to the brow. There's just not much hair there. You can see through a lot of it. A lot of skin shows through. And as they come out here, you can see that they look like they disappear. But no, they just turn white. Like theirs are very, very blonde. They look skin tone, basically. But there is hair here. I can feel it. And when I tint them, I can see it. They're just very fine hairs that definitely do need some help. And here, the other side. This one's bigger. But this one fills in more down here, and I also have quite a little lovely scar from a eyebrow ring. If there was one piercing I regret, it was actually that one. And not so much regret it as in I wish I could have this just kind of fixed. I do believe there is a way that I could make this look a little better. Dermatologist or something like that, they could probably do something to it, make it look a little nicer. But yeah, it's just a lovely little hole. Anyway, when we do quickly, just go ahead and tint my brows. I use Just for Men. I use the old school packet like this. It comes with the 2, and it usually comes with like a little root touch-up looking brush similar to this that you use for your beard, but I use a spoolie. These are just disposable spoolies. You can get these on Amazon, Sally's, basically anywhere you can find these, and you can save old mascara wands, spoolies that come in makeup sets that you don't care about. And of course you can wash them and reuse them. It's not a big deal for this. But I'm using the dark brown. And that is pretty much what I do first thing. Like if we're starting at the very beginning of a full-on brow routine. So I'm just going to breeze through this because I did show this previously in my brow routine. And the rest of this routine is quite simplified. So what I'm going to do is speed through tinting my brows, which is going to look scary. But when it's done, it's going to look good. And grooming my brows. And I don't pluck my brows. I use these. These are the Schick Hydro Silk touch-up razors. And you can use these kind of dermaplane your face and everything. And I've already got my one ready. They also come with this handy dandy little guy here, which is lovely. This little dude down here, which I need to get out. And they also have very nice safety caps on them to keep them nice. And I can usually get about 3 or 4 uses out of one. So they're quite effective. I get them at Walgreens, and I think I did find them at Walmart as well. But these have been my favorite little face razor, like dermaplaning type product that I've used. And I've tried quite a few. And it comes with this. This is a little awesome guy right here. And this is a lid that you can use to keep it safe, right? On this one side. But if you flip it, it gives you this little bit of blade exposed. And with that little bit of blade, you can clean up your eyebrows without risking cutting too much, cutting your eye, cutting your lashes. It just keeps it very safe and very manageable and easy to control. So I do recommend this brand also because of this. This little dude is awesome. And sometimes I don't always use it, but most of the time I do, just to get in like right here where I want a little more precision. And I'm very, very careful with this. I've done this for years. The first time I ever saw these like hit the market, it was I think they were by Clearasil or some brand like that. It was some very odd off the wall brand, and I saw them at Walgreens. I think I was probably 20, 35 now, and I have sought them out online, internet, everywhere ever since. I don't mess with no tweezers around here. I haven't messed with tweezers in 15 years, just because I plucked all my brows out at one point, and we're not going down that road again. Shaving them is one thing. The hair grows back. It's not a big deal. So you can kind of get a little experimental if you shave your brows. Like, I have definitely shaved the tails off and had them all over the place. I talk about all this stuff in my previous brow routine, I do believe. So in this one, we're just going to go straight through it, and I'm going to tint them and then groom them. And I also trim them. This is not my normal brow trimming scissors. I usually use a smaller kind of manicure scissor, but these are the ones I have in the studio right now. My other ones are in the bathroom because I don't really do all this in the bathroom. But yeah, I'm going to just brush the hairs up and then come across the top and trim them. Like any hairs that are sticking up way, way, way too high. It just kind of neatens them up a little bit. So, okay, let's get started with the tinting. And like I said, I'm just going to speed through this portion and get to it. And yeah, try not to talk your ear off this whole video. And always have some Q-tips on hand to clean up your edges when you're tinting your brows. Okay, on with the process. Alright, now you just wait 5 minutes for this to develop and wash it off with soap and water. Super easy. I let it hang out about 5-ish, maybe. Sometimes I go over if I get busy messing with something because I'm bad about getting distracted. But anyway, it looks a little scary right now, but I've basically filled in my whole like kind of brow line area everywhere there is hair. And this does tint the skin a little bit, so it kind of gives you that fuller look because it is tinting your skin. But that will only hang out for like 1 or 2 face washes. So if you do kind of get a little messy with it, it's easy to remove. You can kind of scrub it off gently. But yeah, and that's why I do keep the Q-tips on hand, is to clean up and keep these edges very, very clean and neat. And that way I don't have to worry about it getting all over my forehead or where I don't want it, and you can kind of tidy up anywhere that you think, yeah, I got a little too much or something like that, and just, yeah, keep it nice and tidy. This is probably the neatest I've ever done it. But again, this is another thing that I've done for years to my brows. Just for Men is a hell of a lot cheaper and goes a lot further than buying an actual brow tint kit, which I do believe those tend to be like one-time use. I know Kiss makes one, but just for Men, it's about $5 roundabout for a box. And these little tubes that it comes with, the developer and dye, will last you probably about a year because you need so small amount. And yeah, I think I've had these two right here for about a year. I've only repurchased this twice in I don't know how long. I just finished up the black tube that I had. I had like soft black, and I was mixing it with dark brown. So right now I'm just using up the rest of my dark brown, and it's a little bit softer. It actually honestly looks better on me than going in with the soft black. But you can mix them, definitely mix shades to get a custom color, because I think they only have like 5 shades. And I think the brown shade's probably going to be the most universal. It'll work on most people. And again, you know, you can leave it on less time if you don't want it to be super duper harsh. You could definitely, you know, wash it off sooner and give it a little scrubby scrub, and it will kind of fade it a bit. I don't mind it being a little bit harsh that first day. I actually really enjoy the fresh tinted brow look because that means less I have to do to them to fill them in, which honestly I don't do that much. That's going to be the perk of this new brow routine, is that it is very minimal compared to my other brow routines. I used to go over the top way too much with the brows, like just carving them out. Multiple steps of gel, soap brow, pencil, pomade sometimes. I mean, I ran the gambit of the brow stuff, and today it's so simple. Alright, so I'm gonna let this cook on my eyes. You can see it's getting darker now. It probably needs a couple more minutes, and then I'm gonna go wash this off, and we'll get back in here for some grooming. Okay, the tint is rinsed out, and can you see what a difference that made? It just made all these little invisible hairs. You can actually see them. My golden blonde hair that is the color of my skin now shows. So let's move on to just a little bit of grooming. So this I'm gonna use those little chic, whatever these are called. And I'm gonna put the little top on here. And the hairs I'm gonna remove are not in my brow line. Like, it's gonna be these hairs. I don't know if they show on. Can you see right here? I have all these crazy hairs. I have all these little crazy hairs down here. Like, my brows will go from here to my hairline. I don't know why, but it's just like very sporadic hair. But it's just enough to annoy me. So I'm just gonna take off this, right off of this area, and clean up here and kind of dermaplane around the brow area. But I'm not gonna remove hair from the actual brow itself. Okay, so brows are groomed. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and throw my skincare on, and I will come back to you when I'm ready to apply the brow and show you the actual application of how I do my brows, which is very much simplified from what it used to be. Okay guys, I'm ready to do my brows. I've just thrown on my face makeup and a little bit of eye. So for brows, I pulled kind of my go-to favorites right here just to show you, and we'll talk through them really fast. But the majority, mostly what I use is this from NYX. This is the Thick It Stick It, and the NYX Lift and Snatch. These are my two staple products that I've really been just going for every single day. And sometimes I'll throw in the Wet n Wild Micro Pencil, depending on if I need a little more fill, or I don't know, sometimes I just feel like I need a little more. So these are pretty much it. A couple other little brow gels that I really do love is the 24-Hour Brow Setter from Benefit. This is phenomenal. I do reach for it quite frequently if I really want my brows up and just looking their best and last all day. Also the e.l.f. little soap brow situation. This was the one that came out with Tovolo in the Electric Mood collection, but they brought this back. But this is just basically soap brows. You just spritz it with a little bit of setting spray, rub your spoolie in, brush your brows up. And of course, good old pear soap, which I mentioned in my last video. This is a great brow setting product. Just spritz a little setting spray on here or water. Yeah, I think I demoed that in the last brow routine. But those are a little bit more fussy products. Those are, I don't use every day anymore like I used to. It's usually just either this one, but most of the time it's this. Sometimes together, depends on what I'm needing that day. And the Lift and Snatch, and then the little think this is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Micro Brow Pencil. This one and the CoverGirl one are my favorites. Alright, the first thing I do is I start with the brow gel, the Thick It Stick It, and go in where I feel like I need a little bit of fill. This one's a new tube, so you really got to clean it off because you will get too much product. When this is new, you get a lot comes out. So be mindful of that and really brush off the spoolie and the applicator because you'll have a bad time and you'll think you hate this product. But trust me, this gets to a sweet spot and it's amazing where you don't have to do that. When you first get one, you definitely need to clean it off because you're going to get way too much. Yeah, I'm going to grab a mirror real quick so I can see what I'm doing, but I'll zoom you guys in so you can see what I'm doing. And what I do is I go backwards through my brow hairs. Now, if like today, just tint the brows. I don't have to go quite as hard in with this to tint the brows, but it does make them look thicker. So I go backwards through the brows, kind of coat them, and I don't mind if this gets on my skin between the brow because that's less that I really need to fill. And boy, that's a look. And then I just brush them into place. This does offer a pretty decent hold. It's not the like most long wear thing in the world, but it does have pretty decent hold for like every day. You know, if you're not like worried about your brows. And yeah, repeat that on the other side. But like if my brows were just a little more longer, a little fuller, or a little thicker, or maybe just longer, I would be done. Like this would be it. But my my brows stop so short. I have to extend the tail. But I try to just coat the hairs like from the opposite directions and let that get a little bit onto the skin in between. And try to catch all those hair. Because what this does is it kind of plumps the hairs up. It has little fibers in there. And it does make them look more substantial. And you can press it down and get that laminated effect with it. But it's not super effective at that. But it does have that kind of texture where you can. So I kind of just like to use this spoolie and just push them a little bit flat. But they're not glued to my face. And this kind of also will deposit a little more product. But it gets them going in the direction that I want. Kind of see what needs filling and what doesn't. I can see like areas of sparseness and I can kind of even them out. You see this brow is bigger than the other one. It just is. So now I'll take like either the little micro pencil or the lift and snatch. Lately I've just been going with the lift and snatch. And by the way, this is the shade brunette in the Thick It Stick It. And then this is ash brown in the lift and did I call it lift and illuminate? Lift and snatch. So shake it up. And again, this is product, it can leak. You gotta kind of not go crazy with it. You gotta be a little precise. But I'll start with this and kind of just flick in some little hairs. So I like to bring my brows in a little bit more in the front. Just very delicately, barely touching my skin. And just bringing in a little bit. And come through. When I get to the tail here, just again, little flicking motions, kind of upward. And just fill in where there is some gaps. And extending the tail out. And I'm just drawing them on as best I can. And there we go. They just look a little more full. A little more real. Try to really get this little brow hair effects. And now the challenge will be to repeat this on the other side. I always get heavy-handed on the other side. I don't know why. I struggle with that. By the way, I've had this pen for a long time and it's still going. But like I was trying to say before I choked on literally my own spit, is that this brow likes to fall. So I do try to get it to stay up so it looks like the other brow more. So at this point, the 24-hour brow setter will come into play. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of that right here. And I'm not going to put a whole lot because it will cause the other products to bleed a little. And just gently kind of press those hairs into place. And yeah, that's it for the brows. That is what I do. So for the simplified routine is literally just these two products. And if I'm feeling a little extra these days, I will take the micro pencil and the 24-hour brow setter. And yeah, that's it. I don't carve them out. I don't do any of the extra stuff anymore. About as excessive as it gets is the tinting, I think, and maybe using the lift and snatch to draw in little hairs. But yeah, and I think they just look way more natural, softer, and just good. All right, and that is the brows pretty much done. I went ahead and just finished up the rest of my makeup for the day. But yeah, very easy, a lot more minimal than what it used to be. I think my previous brow routine was like 40 minutes long. The video about it, because I went into a lot of detail and like talked a lot about eyebrows and all that. But yeah, that's the gist of the brows. I keep it pretty simple these days. I'm just letting them grow, let them do their thing, just tidy them up a tad with the little razor. So yeah, that is all for today. Thank you for hanging out with me. And if you would have any comments, questions, thoughts about eyebrows, leave them down below and I will get back to you. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, stay spooky.